All right, we're live. Thank you to you here with me. Thank you for accepting my invitation, and thank you for those of you that are gonna listen and will be listening. Thank you for being here with us and lending us some of your time. Welcome to this Moody Monday, brought to you by Mood Sensei, sponsored by S3 Labs. I'm very excited to be here with new and old friends. Very excited that today I will be indeed smoking a cigar in the Sei-Gar lounge. Let's introduce our guests and for them to give a little TLDR of their life. So let's say ladies first. Melina, how you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very
Thank you
good.
for having me.
Thank you for accepting. It's an honor for me to have you here, honestly. It's impressive. I can't imagine how busy you are. You said we don't want to talk about the work schedule, but I can only imagine. What's for people that don't know you, the two or three Twitter users that don't know who you are? You want to give the little TLDR of you?
Sure. Hi, my name is Melina. I go by Girl in the Verse. I like to say I make crypto fun and relatable through some funny content. I also host a ton of curated spaces. I'm a marketer, communications person, and I guess like your go-to person when it comes to video content. So yeah, I'm not that busy, just busy.
The woman of the $1 million smile. I love it when you're smiling. Okay? All right, Abundant, Mr. Abundant, Mr. Wickshotwilz. I don't know how many names we're gonna call you in this stream. Fun fact: my first crypto mentor. When I first started approaching trading back in 2020, this gentleman over here received me with open arms, answered all my very dumb questions, and taught me a few tricks. We've been through the long experience together. I'm very happy to finally have you, Abundant, over here in my stream. Give the people your little TLDR for those
Absolutely.
of them that don't know you.
Absolutely. First off, it's an honor to be here. Orlando, me and you have we've known each other for some years now, and it's definitely been an amazing experience. As you mentioned, yeah, I helped you out in the beginning. Myself, I am a foreign currencies as well as crypto day trader and educator. I also am a consultant and advisor for over 200 different NFT projects, over 50 different ICOs, a ton of different tokens, you name it. I've done it. And right now, one of my main focuses is over at Genzio. I am the community operations lead, helping manage a ton of communities that are trying to get a better user experience, as well as help out the average user learn about the everyday crypto experience. And overall, it's a very rewarding experience, to say the least.
You definitely do an amazing job, sir. You're a very professional gentleman that I've had the honor to work with, and nothing. Very happy to have you guys. I'm gonna light this cigar real quick, if y'all don't mind.
Yeah.
And I do want to talk about. I do want to talk with you guys about because y'all definitely won ETH Denver. Uh, one if there was one thing that I saw in my timeline during the time of ETH Denver was something about Genzio Media. And I gotta be honest, before ETH Denver, I didn't know what it was. After it, so that's why I wanted to speak with you guys. Why was Genzio Media all over my timeline? And I'm pretty sure a lot of other people's timelines. Whoever wants to take the floor, go ahead. What does Genzio do? And what was the main goal in Denver?
Well, I guess the Genzio is it's hard to say at this point. We are a full stack media.
Everything.
Yeah, we do really everything. We are a media agency. We are a marketing firm. We are a marketing agency. We help with community operations, tokenomics, video content. Like with Melina, we do almost everything it takes to be able to bring companies to a successful point and really get them the marketing they deserve. We've worked with companies like Algorand, Ripple, Coin Network, you name it. Honestly, we have a plethora of clients who we've worked with under our belt. And Melina actually is the premier person to even talk about like how we develop a lot of that media. She's obviously the face of Genzio in many ways, and she has helped deliver a ton of interviews, content, as well as spaces for everything Genzio related.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard, and I found like everyone was asking us like, what does Genzio do? And I couldn't sum it up. Like I couldn't explain it in like a summary, but yeah, like we just went to eat Denver, for instance, right? And so our experience there, I was like basically interviewing any potential client that was either coming in or clients that we currently have, just to do interviews. And it was like full on big days of a ton of interviews. And it's fun because I would say the difference between us is that when we do a media house, like we're there at the events with you, but we're also like it's a vibe to come to the house. So like people want to come there, share, discuss what they want to either do with their companies, right, in terms of marketing or community building. So it's just, I don't know, I just feel like it's a different type of marketing agency.
I was curious about this because I saw the media house, and in the video you guys mentioned everybody's welcome to come. Maybe it's because it was a 1 minute long video, but it looked very. At least everybody was focused on working and creating something. How
That's
you were gonna say something?
I mean, that's one thing about us is we try to make sure that we're always everywhere and we're consistently getting in front of people's faces. A lot of companies, they try to gatekeep the ability to give interviews or get interviews in many ways. So Genzio really wanted to bring that, different side of things to the regular user as well as to these companies that may not get the play they want.
I just realized for some reason my Twitter is not giving away this stream. Oh well, we'll figure it out. So yeah, I saw the video. Everybody was focused on something, and it's true that many companies go to these events, and it's very easy to get sidetracked or losing sight of the main goal when it's supposed to be to grow your brand, your audience, your reach. A lot of people just focus on the partying and the hanging out. So yeah, how do you manage that thing? Is there any time that you gotta be like, no, hold on, we're not gonna do all this craziness. We came here with a goal, with a purpose. How does that strategy call goes?
Do you want the truth or like?
Yeah, of course I do.
I mean, there are nights where I just decide that I'm not working.
All right.
For sure.
Of course.
We're all there to have fun too. I mean,
yeah, honestly, I feel that, Melina. There are always those nights like that we sit down and we're just like, you know what, this is a little bit too much. We've definitely dealt with a lot of clients, to say the least. I know some days we had like 30 interviews in a day. Crazy. And there comes it just comes a point where we have to say, it's time to chill out. Cuban, you're someone who always gets at me about how much I work, and a little less these days, especially. But, one thing at Genzio is that we're not short of is being able to balance our work and work balance as well as our fun balance. Because at the end of the day, it's definitely needed for us to be able to develop and grow. No, all work, no play makes it a difficult life to have, to say the least.
Yeah, it's pretty easy nowadays to get just hyper focused on work, and that's all we do. So yeah, good to know that there's a balance in there. Sorry, I'm like seem a little distracted. I'm trying to troubleshoot my stream. For some reason, it didn't go through my profile. Yeah, that was annoying. So guys, talking about this, the Bachelor, Crypto Bachelor, was that something that Was that something that was starting since before, or did it start in Denver? Or sorry, is it are episodes out already?
No, that's it. So I'll explain it to you. So trust me, I only found out when I got to Denver that this was happening. So I'll give you the lowdown a little. Yeah, so our marketing agency just like had this idea and they wanted to produce this show. And
Mhm.
it just like I think like within a month they just like got together with Sparkle Pony Productions. I think is who they're called. Um, and they decided to just film the entire show during ETH Denver. So the show was filmed during ETH Denver, and it's currently being edited right now. And I think they said they're hoping to release it on 420. So.
Hmm. Is it going to be on Twitter or YouTube or what?
So when I first spoke to them, I did ask them this question. They did tell me that their goal is to make it as accessible as possible. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it looked fun. There's so many people in there. It's like a regular bachelor, but
It's like very dramatic.
I'm excited to see the drama coming out of that.
Yeah, who isn't? I mean, that's what I said the entire week. I'm like, I don't even watch these type of reality shows, and I was so into it.
Abundant, are you gonna be in one of these?
Oh, one day you can best believe I'll be in one of these. I will be the lead person of watching all these. No, definitely not. It's just not for me. I love being able to help be behind the scenes and produce these kinds of things for sure. You know, I'll leave these forward-facing moments for some of our top bachelors and potentially even a bachelorette like Melina herself.
Well, I mean, I'm taken, but I wouldn't mind like maybe hosting it or becoming their behind the scenes person. It was a lot of fun. Actually, there's some content that I still have to put out there that I filmed myself while I was there.
You'll be good at hosting. I think.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Have that
Amazing
nice,
at hosting.
then when you speak and you make a piece of content, you have the nice up and down and your
Well,
intonation, emotion to keep people engaged. You'll be really good at hosting something like that.
it would be awesome. I feel like I would have so much fun.
Oh god, I can imagine the interviews now.
Oh, I interviewed some of the ladies. That's what I mean. I gotta release this. Now that I know when the release date is, I kind of want to coincide it so that it kind of gives it a suspense-ish. But I have no idea how they're gonna edit this out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that editing process, even behind, you know, it's funny because you know Orlando, you know, like me and you, we worked with The Walking Dead, and you know, we talk about how we I forget his name, but from Orange Comment, he helped create The Biggest Loser. And you know, I think about how they probably how they go about editing all their shots, and it's a completely different story because reality TV is a different industry. But you know, thinking about how they do all the editing as well as the background cuts, like what to keep and how to position angles, it's such a complex process to say the least. But I know Melina got a lot of inside scoops from these girls during quite a few days of recording.
I can only imagine that editing process, dude. I'm editing a little 1 minute video is straining. I can only imagine editing a reality TV or reality show. That would be crazy. So I did want.
And like, wait, sorry, I'm just like, and the thing is, apparently, the only thing I know is that apparently he did find love. So this is going to be very interesting.
Here we go.
I'm telling you.
It was cool to see that he was actually going in for love, not just, I'm going to be in this show. I'm actually looking for love. And I mean, I'm all for Web3 love. People finding love in Web3, that's my story. And I'm having a great time with it. So, actually, Abundant was a great part on us meeting and finding love. Because people have heard the story many times, and we always say, "Oh yeah, one of the admins that was a a friend of Uncle Q, and he recruited us for this company. Yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy who recruited us for a Web3 service company. And then we started working in so many projects together. And eventually she was like, oh, yeah, my lease is ending. I'm going to just go to Texas, see how things go to meet you in person. And she never been here since.
Yeah,
Abundant, what are some of
you
the
and your go ahead.
what are some of the community outreach initiatives that are going down with Gensio these days?
Oh my, there's so much. It's funny because we think back to I think back to when I first started in this space and how different it used to be to like build communities. Like everything I felt like used to be it's still the same fast-paced business and industry that we found ourselves in. But as far as strategies, right now it just seems like a lot of people are leaning. Everyone obviously wants KOLs. Everyone obviously wants, Quest platforms so people can engage. But there's not a lot of people who are truly understanding why their product or why their company as a whole needs a community and how to best foster that. I tell people all the time, if you're doing an NFT project, if you're doing something with, developers, if you're doing something with gaming, just any of those like key things, you really should focus more so on Discord. Telegram I think is better for token projects or just like small knit communities. But then you have platforms like Reddit, you have platforms like Facebook, you have platforms. Farcaster's been very popular, I know. So people can. So really, everything that we've been doing is figuring out how we can maximize the potential of each of those platforms, because Reddit, Facebook, very Web 2 centric platforms that do not get a lot of play as far as the Web 3 community goes. But it's something that I think is still necessary for a good majority of the space, because we will never be able to truly get new users and get new liquidity into the market without these can grow to the fullest extent.
What do you feel are the main differences in between those platforms? Because the same way you do Twitter is not the same way you would do Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. I haven't had a lot of experience on Reddit, but I do know that the entire vibe of it is pretty different than what it is on like Twitter, for example. What are your main thoughts on that? For
I
somebody
think
that might be trying to grow their audience or in their reach, and they want to expand through multiple social medias, what are some things to take into consideration?
I think the biggest thing to take into consideration with those is like, first off, what are you trying to build? And then second off, how can you go about building those things, appropriately for that community? I mentioned it a second ago, is like, NFTs have their place in Discord. And, but when it comes to Web 2, you need something that takes that middle ground. Gaming projects, I think, are great for Reddit, for instance, because you are able to, as long as you can push to a Web 2 audience with, and not even mention the Web 3 side, you're able to at least onboard people without the ignorant, oh, it's a scam, oh, it's crypto, blah. It's just always, there seems to be something negative when people just get at forward-facing Web 3. So trying to, like, gaming projects are great because you can adopt a lot of Web 2 users through it. But versus developers, like in Facebook, for instance, I think developers are great for Facebook because you have a lot of these tight-knit communities of even just regular users who are trying to put their foot in or learn more about this space. It may not be something that they will continually use, but one thing I know for sure is developers are always looking for bug bounties. They're always looking for opportunities to expand. And I mean, even Apple has these types of bug bounties, and they have groups dedicated for people trying to find these bugs. I know Apple offers like 500 grand or $1 million or something crazy if people can hack them, so that way they can patch things. So it's just when it comes to a lot of communities trying to find what their niche is, I always recommend start off with either a Discord or a Telegram, and then build from whether utilizing, Reddit is viable or Facebook is viable, or even just building a specific X community or Instagram for flair. It varies from project to project, and it's hard to blanket it all. But I'm sure like you have to do your best to cover all your bases and see what's going to benefit your community the most. Because too often people think like, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this, but more often they don't even realize that they don't even need to have all of the things that they try to associate with community. Just because Ripple has something doesn't mean that you need it. Just because Chainlink has something doesn't mean that you need it. It's just, you have to build up according to your project and take it at a pace that matters most to your community and your product.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I saw it many times when we were working together. Communities would try to replicate what somebody else was doing, or the approach of some other project, without realizing that's not your community, that's not your audience. And I think it's important to know who you're speaking with, to know who you're speaking to, and to approach them on their own language. And yeah, that's something that I'm navigating through for my own personal brand, trying to find my voice, basically. What is my way to speak? What is my kind of content? What does my audience resonate with? So yeah, it's a process, definitely. So Melina, you promised me you were gonna give us some of the marketing scoops behind the scenes over there. Tell us, please.
Well, what would you like to know in terms of? You're looking all dark over there. What?
Hmm. I'm trying
It's
to
getting
figure
dark.
out. I'm trying to figure this out. It's a lot of technical difficulties today.
You're fine. Um, Marketing. You mean like what people are doing right now? I will say, like, one of the interesting things that we did in Denver that I thought was really cool. But I'm not the brain behind this idea, but it was really cool that it came out of ours. Um, was that hibachi squid game?
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Yes.
saw that marketing stunt. That was like a pretty good one, and it really worked really well. And it was so fun to be at this house where the actors were acting it out like in the morning, really early. We had early mornings. So I feel like that marketing stuff was really good because it was really relevant, right? Everyone recognizes the Squid Game outfits, right? Um, and it was cool. Now I'm trying to figure out too, because I actually don't know. I don't know if you know, Abundant, what they say to everyone. I was
Oh,
there filming, but I couldn't hear, so I don't know.
at the like when they were doing like with the all the people who were participating in
Yeah,
the
like I think some of them were like, okay, now you must tag us on Twitter, take a selfie. Like I think it was things like that. It was really cool.
Yeah, I'm fairly positive it was along those lines. Hibachi Exchange, great client of ours. We wanted to make sure that the Hibachi Games, which is basically like a Squid Games concept, we would have these actors walk around and have people participate in one of the actual Squid Games uh, tasks, for lack of a better word. And one of the main things we wanted to make sure that people did after participating is if they won, they would obviously have to tag us on Twitter, tag East Denver, really try and push the marketing of Hibachi out. And then secondarily, if they wanted a extra opportunity or a second chance, selfie along with the tags, just really trying to put Hibachi's name out there in as many places. Like Melina said, we're
Exactly.
not the ones who specifically, did that. Like, we're not the ones who specifically set up the activation. That was another person on our team, but it was a beautiful thing to watch, and it actually garnered a ton of attention from people around the conference. And we definitely had groups of like 50 people just standing around waiting for their next attempt to participate.
It was so fun. It was so fun to like participate in that. Uncle Cuban, I think he's having some difficulties. But
Happens to the best of us sometimes.
I know. What else can we talk about? I'm like trying to see. I just feel like you do great work, abundant. Like I just feel like I love what you do. So I'm always like, oh my god.
How
Um,
has it been for you being back from East Denver? I know you had the
I'm so
opportunity to talk with a ton, but now that
just like
follow-up game begins.
the follow-up game begins. Also, there's just so much to prep for the next stuff. It's just like you're constantly always on the next thing. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, especially
Um,
with how many events Genzio actually goes to
yeah,
around the world. I think our team is in, what is it? I think they're going to, I know
some are
they're
in
going to
Vegas.
GDX.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
some are
going to
going to.
Rare Evo
Yeah,
in Vegas. They
it's
got
crazy.
Argentina. I know we have I know we have Token 2049.
Yeah.
Um, we just don't stop when it comes to events over at Genzio.
Yeah, so it's just been a lot it's more of like planning and stuff, right? Um but yeah, and then just securing some new partnerships, working with some new people. I know that I feel like it also helps me as a creator to go to these conferences and then just to be present, right? And for people to see me, and I feel like it solidifies this certain relationships more. So
Absolutely.
that's nice, you know. I'm happy I got to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in such a long time, so that was nice, you know. That was so fun. Um,
I'm curious, I'm not someone who does, interviews a lot of people or does those kinds of things. What is it like to like learn about all these projects and meet all different types of people, interview these clients? Like, how do you take that experience? You've been in this industry, in the interviewing industry, for a long time. I'm just
yeah,
curious on your perspective in it.
you know what? It kind of like teaches you to learn different things or like be open to different topics and conversations. Um, and I will say, I did feel like this time around at Eat Denver, the people that companies chose to be their spokesperson were really good. Like I feel like people are starting to get either media training or it was a lot of fun to do some of these interviews. I mean, there was a guy that stood out too. Um, I'll just talk about him. I feel like he would love it anyway. So he sits down, and I forget his name. I forget. He did not have a company. Basically, he has an idea, and he just sat down and was like, "I want to build this country without borders. Like we don't need any passports. We're just gonna live this way." And it was very like, what? Like, is this possible? Like,
Sounds like my kind
uh,
of guy.
yeah, but he really has this whole plan. He's planning it all out, and like he says, he's been speaking to mostly people, let's say in Indonesia or like Thailand. Um, and he's getting a lot of a lot of people who are on board with this. Anyway, I wish him good luck. That was like an interesting interview. And I can't wait for that one to come out. That one really stood out to me because it was like really like it was very interesting to talk to this person. But yeah, I mean, you know what? I feel like I was able to figure out too, like what people are certainly working on right now. So that was interesting. So I could give you guys a few things that I kind of jotted down. I feel like AI agents are what everyone is talking about.
Oh, that's a fact.
Everyone is either building an AI agent, they've created their very own that will help you do XYZ, or like they know how to build you. Anyway, it's AI agents everywhere for everything. Um,
Yeah, there are many interesting projects in that area. Actually, my first guest here in the Sei-Gar Lounge was Heathen. He's one of the members of the Sei community, and he's part of the team of FTX. They are building. It's not an AI agent, but they're focused on building AI agent swarms. For these agents that are all over out there, they facilitate. They call it swarms, which is basically groups where these agents can come together, interchange data, grow. For example, if I have a threat writing agent and you have a grammar, an agent that specializes in grammar, those two agents can collide, and mine can get better at grammar, yours can get better at copywriting, for example. And it's pretty interesting. They are
Oh wow.
they have a token also in Solana called the same FTX, and they are working on those super swarms to connect these agents. And eventually, they're gonna make it very easy for people to create their own agents. For now, you have to create your own using an open source framework like Eliza or something like that, and then bring it to the swarm. But that was part of the conversation we were having. They're gonna bring it to the point where people can just, you want an AI agent, now it's super easy for you to have one. So it's pretty interesting things. Was that still relevant over there?
Yeah, honestly, I'm right there with you. Like that kind of stuff is so, some of what Melina said, like AI agents and AI in general was just so prevalent at ETH Denver, and we can even see it prevalent in just regular media right now. I think even what was it? I think it was during the Super Bowl. There were a ton of commercials about AI as well. I think right now we're seeing like that. I hate to say it, but like a meta come out of just AI products that can be viable for the world. But what really is going to come down to is, in my opinion, things like that you talked about with that swarm, or with, certain knowledge proofs or social truths that need to be discerned. Like we've seen so much happen in the industry that has, or in the AI industry that has popped up over the past couple of years. But I know quantum computing is going to be a huge indicator of where AI can go. And another thing that we even saw a lot of at ETH Denver too was the ZK proofs. Everything ZK. It seems like it's either AI or ZK is all I see.
Yep, those roll-ups. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what is that? What's ZK?
ZK is a layer 2 side of, or a layer 2 proof for off of the Ethereum network. Basically, it's a much more cost effective, much more speed effective way to do transactions on a separate network on the layer 2 of ETH. It's a cool roll up. Like it has a lot of potential. It's probably one of the biggest ways that we are finding that we can get layer 2 roll ups and layer 2 accessibility across the board. And we're even starting to see it with payment processing. Like people are utilizing, if we're really sticking with ETH on, or ERC in general with a ton of different things, we're really starting to see that payment processing is going to be a big factor when it comes to ZK. And that's for damn sure.
That's interesting. I got to do some research on that, dude. I'm not smart enough to understand these things and apply. Man. So yeah, you guys were talking about other interesting projects that you saw over there. Please continue on that.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I wish I was, but I don't know. I'm taking the time to get more involved and more curious and learn more about the things that are going on in Web3 for by the time that I actually go to an in real life event, I can actually have a proper conversation with somebody. That was the entire purpose of this space. It was initially a space and became a live stream. The entire point of it was, I want to have those conversations. I want to be onboarded into whatever's going on in Web3. So then when we meet in person and we start talking, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just here to hang out.
So you laugh, but that's pretty much what we try to do because we're talking about Web3 all day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much. People building so much, and I'm glad. I'm happy of all the amount of innovation. I saw a tweet today in the 2-minute window of Twitter working that we had today. Or somebody saying, "Oh, there's not enough innovation on crypto." I'm like, what crypto are you looking at, brother? I can't catch up with all these people creating new things, and then you have a conversation. They speak to you like it's a topic that you should have been known. That should have been known your entire life. I'm like, bro, it's the first time I hear about this. What are you talking about? When do you have time to come up with this idea? But no, it's great.
I think what a lot of people get, people, too many people get caught in bubbles and in crypto, like they or Web3 in general, blockchain in general, like they only specify in this or they only learn about this. Like it seems like when you get very prevalent in a certain ecosystem, like Solana, like I see a lot of people in Solana ecosystem who don't even try, to explore a ton of other ecosystems that can offer somewhat of the same, if not better results or better operational functionality for that network, for their network, or for their coin, or for whatever they want to build. One thing that I don't see a lot of people talking about that I think are really up and coming right now are XRPL, the Ledger tokens. Like that's such a small industry right now, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, well, it's small right now, but then the next day it's going to be, 100,000 active users to, 2.4 million active users overnight. And I think we see that too often because it's just, it takes one project to really catch wind for everyone to really hop on a train that has been trying to make its debut for a while. And I mean, at that point, it just comes down to
is it going to be on the
Ripple project actually pushes. What'd you say?
Is it going to be on Ripple?
Yeah.
Nice, dude. I've been a fan of XRP for a while. Well, you remember back in that day when we had our group chats and we were trading the SEC lawsuit news.
Oh yeah,
that was so fun. We were like, look.
Let me find out that you got 6% of the supplies of Ripple.
No, I wish, dude. I mean, I don't regret it because I made some nice profits on that trade, on those trades, and I was able to treat the family back in Cuba to some nice stuff. But
so nice,
dude, that was so fun and so funny. And it was actually the first time I realized, oh, there's a lot of market manipulation with this politics and all this stuff that are going. Because we were in the group chat, we're like, oh yeah, I have my alerts at 30 cents. I'm waiting for 30 cents, 25 cents for us to buy. That's the area I'm gonna be looking to buy in. Then Christmas Eve of 2021. Oh wow, the SEC is opening a lawsuit, and look at that, Ripple is in the area that we wanted to buy in. So it was fun. It was fun. I wish I had.
It's always funny how this shit works out. We always wish we held, but remember the 4 fears, man.
Yeah. No, I'm glad. I always say, oh, if I would have held, I would have this much. But no, I'm glad with the outcome of that thing, and I was pretty happy to be able to help the family with the profits. That's always a nice feeling, man. When you help family with your profits of trading crypto or a meme coin or whatever, you go and trade unicorn fart dust or whatever, and then you get to treat your mom to a nice lunch. That's something that there's some charm in it. I like it.
I 100% agree, man. No, it's all, especially the way that things have developed too to this day. But I'm grateful. I think we're all grateful for like where we are. I mean, I'm not going to speak for everyone here, but I know all of us always look at the charts like, damn, I wish I would have sold, or damn, I wish I would have bought more. And it's that conflicting feeling, always going back and forth.
I mean, in times like this, I think there's a lot of volatility after the Trump and Melania token. There's been a lot of crazy.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it would have been just Trump, it would have been fine. But they decided to have the brilliant idea of launching Melania. And the way I imagine that conversation going on is, oh, babe, you have your token. Can I have mine too? There you go.
It sucks because that Trump token just took away so much liquidity out of the market. It ruined a lot of potential growth we could have had.
Yeah, there's a lot of craziness in the market now. And I wanted to mention also, I'm very glad that the meta of AI tokens, and anything was AI, the first AI such and such, and none of them were. I'm glad that that's dying. And I'm excited to see actual AI-based tools and projects that have a use case, that have utility, that have a vision come out. Things like FTX, which is not an AI agent, but the Swarm. And, AI aggregator layers that I was seeing the other day on my timeline. Also, something that's also pretty necessary. I
Yeah.
thought for a while that Nimble was going to fill that gap, but they
Yeah.
didn't. I don't know where they went.
Well, you mentioned this, or you asked this earlier, a couple other projects that, we saw at the conference that could potentially be doing very well or like could be a good lookout. One for me is T Protocol, TEA. They're doing amazing work in the space. I listened to a speaker event from one of their founders. He spoke very high. What they're working on as far as solutions and AI is honestly incredible. Diffusion Protocol, they're another one that's doing amazing work in the space, trying to create like sources of truth for AI as a whole. Lyft, they are doing a ton of AI agent work. Even with Chrome web apps. Trying to really bridge the gap of what it takes to develop a AI agent, but also how it gathers data that you're utilizing. So, for me, those are probably three of the like my main projects that I looked at during ETH Denver. That I was like, wow, these guys are actually developing some very solid work that can progress and transcend in crypto, and not even just in crypto, in Web 2 as a whole. Because too many people, they try and make AI be this, especially in this space, they try to make it like, oh, this is a Web 3 app as well and AI, but it has to be something that can benefit both the Web 2 user and a Web 3 user, because I don't want to have to sign into my wallet every time I want to utilize an AI agent, for instance.
Yeah, that is true. I've been saying this, and I mentioned it on a stream that I had with some artists, and in the Spanish stream that we have, I was mentioning on the gaming industry. I'm very excited to see more seamless integration of blockchain into things, whether it be AI agents, whether it be gaming, whether it be um, art or entertainment. I think Abstract is doing a really great job, the Abstract network, with their streaming platforms and the focus on consumer experience and to the Web3 enthusiasts, but also to the Web2, making it seamless for them to interact with the blockchain. Yeah, no, I'm very excited for that, and I think that's the key for mass adoption in general.
Absolutely. And that's really, it's funny because, as much as AI has been pushing, in the industry, similar to what Abstract is doing, I'm really, that's one reason that I'm actually really grateful, because I love AI, and I'm really grateful to be a part of Genzio, because we work with so many different AI companies that are really developing in the space. So I have to do a quick little shout out. Definitely catch Melina on our spaces every week, discussing these types of topics with a ton of different users, as well as a ton of different companies specializing in the space. You might get some early access info.
It's funny that you say that, because you literally took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say too, like, I think what's interesting about working with Genzio is that not only AI, but we work with a ton of different companies from so many different areas and topics, whether it's AI, DeFi, Bitcoin, tokens,
RWAs.
games, RWAs, like it's like everything, like you name it, right?
It doesn't stop.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. So
DeSci and their deepen.
Deepen. Oh my God. You see, like it's so hard to kind of like say it all in like a TLDR of what we do. But I find, to Uncle Cuban's point before, when he was saying, oh, like it's so hard to keep up. I find what's fun about working with all these different companies is that you have no choice to keep up. So it doesn't feel so much like I have to keep up, but like you are already keeping up because you need to, because we're working with so many different.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's what's also good about doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I was gonna ask Uncle too, because I don't know much about him. I actually know more about his girly wifey. I don't know. Wifey? Is she a wifey? Yeah, she's your
Yes.
wife. Yeah, I know more about spicy than Uncle Cuban, but I was gonna ask you because I was just saying how what's fun about working with Genzio is that we get to touch on different subjects and topics because we work with a ton of different companies from many different industries. But I was gonna ask you, are you how did you get involved in crypto? I don't know what your TLDR is like. Are you only buying Say? Or are you multi-chain?
No, I'm not. For a while, I was like a chain maxi, but no.
Okay.
You want to hear the whole story? How I
No,
got
no.
into
I
crypto?
mean, well, I mean, Bundit knows. It's not that I didn't want you to go through the whole story, but it was just like because you were saying I want to get in on the no, I want to get in on the no. So I just wanted to know where you were.
Okay, so I'm gonna give a little TLDR.
Okay.
Uh, I came from Cuba on 2019, and one of the things that I was very excited about being in this country was that I was gonna be able to partake in trading and crypto and all that because since I was in Cuba, I couldn't partake. I couldn't trade because first was illegal. Second, it was
Wow.
we didn't have the means, and third, for us to get access to the internet, we had to go to a park. And hold on, I am
It's a
here.
it's a different industry back there.
Yeah,
They-
Well, I didn't
there's something.
realize that Cuba could block you from buying crypto.
I mean, they can block you from accessing exchanges. They can put
Wow.
geolocation restrictions on different sites and exchanges the same way. They do that a lot. And my goodness.
Damn, I did not know. That's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
So I was over there, but since I think the first time I heard about Bitcoin, it was like at 100 something dollars. And since then I was interested. I remember being following the news of the launch of Ethereum. I was, with my limited um, internet access, I was watching all this stuff, wishing I could partake. And I used to watch a lot of videos from Gary Vee and all his social media and entrepreneurial advice. Then he started getting into NFTs, so I was watching all that. And I found this company. I don't know if I should say the name of it. I don't know if they're still running.
I don't think they're around anymore. I think they changed
They're
the
not around
name.
anymore. Okay.
Nah.
I found this company, which is a network marketing company, that they are trading academy. They had a bunch of mentors, and then you pay your subscription and you get to learn the trading. So I signed up because I wanted to do it as soon as I came here. I got my first job, and as soon as I was able to, I did it. I signed up and started learning how to trade. That's where I met Abundant. And
Crazy.
we were we eventually just separated ourselves from everybody else because we're right. And
Exactly.
partly because I was terrible at it, partly because I didn't want to recruit nobody. I never recruited anybody to the network marketing thing. So we were just focusing on trading and sharing trade ideas and sharing trade strategies. And I,
I want to be a part of
uh,
this group.
you don't, you might want
I
to just stay away from it.
Well,
it's because I'm learning how to trade too now. This is what I'm doing second bull market. Anyways,
So
continue.
yeah, and there we used to trade like forex, commodities. We like one of my favorites is gold. I used to love trading gold. Um,
Damn.
crypto. For a while, I got really deep into binary options, which are really really risky, but I got the hang of it. And they taught me my first big um, lesson in trading. Because yeah, you can learn from theory, but not until you make not until you take like $500 and turn them into 10,000 in 3 weeks, and the next day you blew it, then you realize, oh, I gotta be mindful of my emotions. I gotta be mindful of the things that I'm doing. So after that, I stepped away for a while. Then NFTs came about. I think on what year did we
21.
2021. Yeah,
Yeah, 2021, I think it was.
that was the beginning of, of certain projects that we shall not
Yeah.
name.
Okay, that shall be unnamed. Um, so I got into this NFT project. I was gonna be an early investor. I actually was an early investor, and then I got my money back because they messed up the launch or whatever. Ended up being a rug, but um, then abundant recruited us to be like, oh, okay, these people messed everything that could have been messed up. So let's change that. Let's fix that. Let's offer services to founders that might have great ideas but might not have the know-how. So let's help them out. And we worked with several projects together. And then one of those projects that we worked with was Stigman Toys. It's an
Ah,
Ethereum based project, and the artist from this project was Joey Tadiar, the founder of Remo's World. I don't know if you've seen that project and say, but it
Oh,
was
yes.
initially it was an Ethereum project, and then Say came about. We decided, oh, let's launch a collection on Say because it was fast and cheap, and it came over. For a while, I was just Remo's maxi, just that's all I cared about. I really didn't went out of those boundaries to interact with the community. But then slowly started meeting people in the same community and be like, oh, this is fun. And bought some other projects and, started having more fun with it and learning about all that was going on.
That's
But
awesome.
nowadays, no. Nowadays, I don't think I'm tied to one chain. I'm in that phase of learning what's out there, and I'm very interested on what's happening with Mona. It is now on testnet phase. Very interested on abstract. I dabble a little bit on Solana. Don't touch Ethereum with a stick, but you know it's so expensive, dude. It's
What do
crazy.
I do with my ETH bag? This is so bad.
I don't know. I
I
just don't.
started
I'm
on
not a fan of
Ethereum. I
paying.
mean, I'm so heartbroken. This is the worst
I'm not.
heartbreak of my life.
I'm not a fan of paying $200 in gas fees. That's the problem. I mean, after dealing
Okay.
in say that you don't have to worry at all if you have money in your wallet
Okay, let
to
me
cover
explain
that.
this to you. Let me explain this to you. We're at Eat Denver. I would say this to people, and I'll tell you what they told me, okay?
Hmm.
They said it doesn't matter because every business right now pays Visa a ton of fees to use Visa. And so businesses will pay Ethereum because because everyone is building on ETH. And you know
Yeah,
what? It fucking made sense. And I just want to share that with you. Just think about
yeah.
it because I'm still thinking about it, but I really don't know what to do with my ETH bag. Okay, I mean this. I mean this.
It makes sense. I mean, all due respect to Ethereum, I uh, I
Everyone is
do think
building on
that
ETH.
many EVM chains are doing a great job of making it faster and cheaper. Like say, for example, fastest
I
EVM chain.
agree.
You
I
get
agree.
you get the benefits of the Ethereum virtual machine, and you get the benefit of one of the quickest, to not say the quickest termination time, and super cheap. So it's incredible. Um, I think every chain has something interesting to offer, and I'm here to just learn about them. I might be saying that I won't touch Ethereum with a stick. I might say that about some other chain, and tomorrow I learn something different and change my mind.
Totally.
Uh,
I
I'm on
just
that
I
flexibility
wanted to
arc.
share that with you because I've been thinking about this a lot, like what do I do with ETH? Like do I just get rid of it? Like what do I do? And anyway, I'm not going to say I'm bullish, but Trump is buying ETH, so whatever. Pump my
I
back.
don't think there is a reason to be bearish on Ethereum. I don't think there is a reason to be bearish on Ethereum because
But you
without
won't
Ethereum,
touch it. But you won't touch it.
because I touch EVM chains, but we need Ethereum to have EVM. You know what
But
I
you
mean?
won't use. We have to have a whole other conversation. The Sei-Gar part 2 after hours. We got to talk trading and stuff. No, no, we got. We
Well,
must.
yeah,
We
we
must.
we definitely gotta do this stream again to see if I don't have so many technical difficulties because this has been a mess. My camera was acting wrong. My internet was acting wrong. My goodness, it was
Can't catch a break
it was
today,
the
man.
chaos over here. And now this different time zone. which I like because it gets darker a little later, but it lands in the middle of my stream. So when I start it, I'm testing out my camera. Okay, I'm looking good, and then by the end of it, you see how we are, all
Yeah,
in the
that's what
dark.
happens.
No, so yeah, I gotta figure out what's going on with my camera. The stream didn't go through my Twitter. It's been a mess. I don't know. We gotta repeat this. If you guys
It
would be
doesn't
willing,
matter. You're just gonna get better the next one. That's what's so fun about this kind of stuff.
and this is something I do wanna. Uh, Probably the next time we talk, because both of you are really good at speaking, public speaking. Yes, you're very eloquent and very quick to easy. It makes it easy for you to put your point across, and that's something I admire from both of you. I remember Bundon when we were doing the trading calls, the way that you would articulate things. I would try to do the same, and it wouldn't have not even half of the same eloquency and articulation. And Melina, you're fantastic. I was saying before, you would be great for hosting a reality show because that skill that you have. I don't know if it's something natural to you or
I've
if it
had
is
it for a
something that
long
you're
time.
working. Yeah,
I worked in news for like a really long time. But I would say maybe you could do that but in your language and you could speak to Cuba and then it would make more sense for you.
Honestly, it's a valid point. You know, I know you want to, Orlando, like, I know you want to expand the English market, but I'm telling you, one thing that I've learned with working in marketing, especially with a lot of consultation, is that the Spanish market in general is just
It's growing.
very, yeah, it's growing a lot, and there's not a lot of
yeah.
people who can, be a voice out there for Spanish speaking individuals who are trying to get in the space. Like, I mean, you know how it
We're
is
trying.
setting up those Spanish communities. I mean, you're killing it regardless. I see you out here. Trust me. Even though I'm not always on the stream, I'm definitely always listening, brother.
I
I mean, I
appreciate it.
could totally connect you with like Latinos too. Look, I speak Spanish, but I don't. I, it would be so like I would have to like co-host, but I wouldn't want to host a show. Like it's not my first language,
I
so
mean,
it
I
would
would
be
love to.
harder for.
We
But
are
we should do
some of
it.
the members from the Say community. We have Ed G. He is Ecuadorian, I believe, and then we have Lob Studios from the Fuckers team. He's
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Mexican. So we have a Spanish show we do on Wednesdays. It's called Si Senor, Senor,
Sí,
and
sí. Muy bien.
uh, so we are trying to grow the Spanish community. And
Yeah.
a lot, this happened to me, and this I tell this to my cousins. We just managed to bring them from Cuba. Like, you gotta learn English because you're gonna go out there. Sadly, this is the reality. The advice that you might be able to take advantage of, there's a lot more in English than in Spanish. So learn the language. But I do wanna work on growing the Hispanic community and
I
having
mean,
maybe influence or motivate more Spanish speakers to put their voices out there and put their ideas out there. That would be lovely. Yeah.
so I'll just give you like a few pointers, right? I would say like the reason you want to go in Spanish is because you'll be able to speak and say what you feel like you want to be able to say in the language that you're comfortable in, right?
Yeah.
Two, you just told me that Cuba, they're not allowed to buy crypto. You would, if you just do any content crypto Cuba, you're gonna fucking kill it because like you would be able to show what you're able to do now, right?
Yeah.
And three, I just feel like crypto, we're so early. We keep saying we're early, but we really are. And it doesn't mean that if you do Spanish content now, you'll never do English. It just means you're building out that community. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Facts.
No, definitely gotta tap more into it. And I'm
You know.
just now starting to create content and all that.
awesome.
So I just, yeah, I gotta do it definitely. There's
it all
no
it all starts
other,
from the first step, man.
exactly. I just gotta do it. But not only speaking on my second language because I'm pretty fluent in English, but I think the skill of the intonation and the eloquency and the way that you guys speak is great. It comes one
It's
from the
appreciated, brother.
knowledge and the dominance of what you're talking, and second, I don't know how to explain it, but the skill of speaking properly and public speaking and all that. I gotta get better at that definitely.
That's practice. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is. That's going to be practice. Um, and honestly, I feel like I really want to do this with you. So please invite me to the Spanish show, and we're going to make my husband so happy that I'm going to go practice my fourth language and talk about
Awesome.
crypto. I would
What
love
what are
to
your
like.
what are your other three? Oh, your other two
So I
languages?
speak English, French, Italian. I am Italian and Spanish. I studied Spanish for 6 years.
I
Con
want
las
to do it so
telenovelas.
bad. I want to do it so bad. I'm learning French now because Spicy is from Quebec and more so
Oui, c'est
all of
ça. Moi aussi. Moi aussi.
yeah. Je étudie le français.
Oui.
So I'm studying French now. I want to learn. I want to be fluent in French to be able to communicate with their family. Because that was crazy. The day that I called her father to be like, "Hey, I want to ask for your blessing to marry your daughter," but he doesn't speak English. He doesn't speak Spanish. He speaks
Oh
French, and I didn't speak
yeah.
no French at
That's
the time.
crazy.
So it was a blessing that her stepmom was in there helping us because she speaks English, French, and Italian. Uh, but there was sometimes that we were in a pickle because what I was trying to say she couldn't translate. So, oh my god, I'm very excited to learn French. I want to learn. I want to speak all the Romance languages, and then um, Arabic, Mandarin,
It would be
Russian.
sick.
I don't know. I have so many languages I want to learn. It's great for your
Awesome.
health. Also,
It
learning
is.
when you're learning languages. This is proven. When you're actively learning a new language, the area on your brain that is getting exercise is the same area that controls most of the locomotive, or not locomotive, most of the movements of the body, the motor system of the body. So,
Mhm.
actually, learning languages can help prevent movement diseases like Parkinson's or some related. So, yeah, it's not only a great skill to have; it's great for your health.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's a good. Honestly, that's a great
Awesome.
piece of. No, you learn something new every day.
Awesome.
Did you
Yeah.
know that Abundant speaks Spanish? Do you speak Spanish?
Don't put
We
me on the
never
spot, sir.
it's like it's not something that I'm publicly, I'm not
Yeah, Abundant speaks Dominican.
Dominican.
Sounds
You know
like
what? So I noticed when I went to Spain, I was like, oh no, mi español es muy mexicano, no es español.
Spicy always makes a joke because she speaks Spanish, like Castellano.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
We speak Cuban, not the
Exactly.
same.
No.
So yeah, it's all different things. I makes fun of her so much, but then she makes fun of me. To this
I
day,
love
she still laughs at me every time I say "berry" instead of "berry."
this
And one day, me being the romantic man that I am, I tried to do your smile is so. I tried to say your smile is so priceless, and I said worthless. And she went and told her mom, and
I'm actually not very surprised by that, but I'm very happy to
imagine,
hear that happens.
imagine my face. I'm all like with lovey eyes over here. Your smile is worthless.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I mean, but yeah, like you just have to. I would say start with what you're comfortable with, and then just change it up. Like that's why I'm saying I'm willing to come and do like a Spanish show just to see if I can do it because you know what? I really don't know. I speak Spanish, but I never do. Even at the conference, so I do speak French, right? And some people would tell me I speak French, but I don't want to do this interview in French because I don't do French crypto. And I say
Okay,
the
yeah,
same thing.
that
I
makes
say the
sense.
same thing.
It
It's
makes sense.
harder because the
A
lingo
lot of
is so
times,
hard.
I catch myself a lot of times because I don't want to be that guy to say, "Oh, I forgot how to say this in Spanish." But there's many things that you learn in a certain language that you don't know how to explain them or articulate them
Yeah.
in your own language and your first language. You know, like whenever I start talking crypto with somebody, it's like, no, I have to speak to you in English, bro. I have to throw at least 2 or 3 words in English because I don't know in Spanish. That's not a thing that I learned. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting. To be honest, I was a little bummed about all the technical stuff with this stream, but y'all has cheered me up. Um, we
So
definitely, I
awesome.
would love to have you two again in the stream. I do want to wrap it up. We are past 8.
That's what
Sorry.
happens.
Yeah. It's been fun. It's been fun. I would love to have that conversation again. Maybe talk about some public speaking and things like that. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that there's a lot of new content creators, particularly in the Say network where I interact with the most, and also in abstract. There's so many streamers, a lot of people that will benefit from a conversation like public speaking and getting comfortable in front of a camera and things like that. I think you two are great at that, even though Abundant had his camera off the whole time. But I've seen you. I've seen you. Don't worry
He
about it.
looks
next time,
good.
yeah, next time I swear I'll be sitting here with a cigar right there with you, dog.
Yeah, probably the next one of the probably very very soon you're gonna be here in person.
Listen,
Uh,
man, I need to meet the little one.
I know.
I need to see Spicy again. It's been a while.
so I don't wanna jinx it, but the house buying process is going well. We filed some documents that we needed today. They needed some confirmation of a few stuff. If
Blessings.
everything goes well, we're closing on the house by the 20th of this month. So
Awesome.
in 10 days.
So I'll see you the
Uh,
21st.
yeah, it's gonna be great to be settled at home, with a proper setup and everything on its right place. And I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for accepting my invitation. I do want to ask you one last thing.
Of course.
If you wanna chill, whatever you have, but anything that you have going on, either your personal profile or passion project that you have going, please go ahead. Where can people see you? Where can they follow you and keep up with your shenanigans?
Melina, please, ladies first.
Twitter, at girl underscore in the verse. You'll see me hosting a ton of Genzio spaces there. Instagram, if you're a girly, I don't know. At girl in the verse, come find me.
That Instagram
What about you?
content is fire. You can find me anywhere. I am at Wickshotwilz on every single platform. I don't have anything to shill other than, make sure you guys follow myself, follow Melina, follow Uncle Cuban, follow Genzio Media as well. It's at Genzio Co. And just thank you so much for having me here, Orlando. It's been a pleasure and an honor. So, as always.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. To those of you listening, thank you for coming to another Moody Monday. Finally got to enjoy a cigar on stream, even though camera was messing up. It was a whole disaster, but well, we have fun. I really enjoyed talking with you guys. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm saying this genuinely. Life has been a little crazy lately, but I'm glad
We're
that I
getting
have this
there.
conversation. And even though some stuff happened with my stream, I'm happy that I got to talk with you guys and take it as a rep. And the next stream might be a little better, and we're gonna polish all those rough edges. So, thank you for being here. Thank you to those of you that lend us a little bit of your time. Could have been anywhere, but you chose to be with us. I'm really grateful for that. See you again. If you speak Spanish, see you this Wednesday. If not, see you next Monday to another Moody Monday. Maybe I'll be smoking another cigar. See you guys.